So I started with 2 boxes of pudding and 3 cups of cold milk. The package calls for 4, but I did 3, and I did this ahead of time and stored this in the refrigerator to chill. And I'm going to set this to the side. I've also got a thawed container of whipped topping that's been thawed in the refrigerator for a few hours, a silicone spoon, and a cup of powdered sugar measured out, and some cookies. These are Oreos, already in a bag, and I'm going to crush these later with a rolling pin. I've got ramekins here to store the dirt and another mixing bowl, and I've also got an electric mixer off to the side. And right here I've got 8 ounces of softened cream cheese. This has been out at room temperature. This is flavored cream cheese. You do not have to use flavored cream cheese. We're going to add the powdered sugar to this, so plain cream cheese is fine. The block of cream cheese is perfectly fine. I just happen to have strawberry flavored cream cheese around that we weren't using, so I went with that because strawberry will pair fine with chocolate. So I figured, why not? But plain cream cheese works perfectly well. We're using chocolate pudding anyway. You put that in your bowl here, try to get as much out as possible. Add your powdered sugar. You can whip the cream cheese first, because when you whip the powdered sugar in, you're kind of going to get a dust cloud. I didn't do that, and I got a little bit of a cloud. As long as you go on low speed, it's okay. You see the dust cloud there. But it's manageable as long as your bowl's tall enough and you go on low. Scrape as needed. I'm going to stop and scrape here because it's not getting all of the powdered sugar, and don't put the foil from the cream cheese in like I did. You don't want that in your final product, but scrape as needed until it becomes nice and soft. This is called creaming. You do this with butter as well. You can actually add softened butter to this recipe. It makes kind of like a cream cheese icing. That's how you make cream cheese icing, or cream cheese buttercream. But right now we just need the cream cheese and powdered sugar mixture. Now that that's done, we're going to add our pudding. Add the entire thing right into the bowl, and we're going to mix it with the mixer. Get as much of it as you can. Scrape the bowl down. Try not to lick the spoon, because you're going to need that spoon. And I know it's tempting. I really wanted to do it because demons love pudding. I hope you know that. It's a fun fact for everyone. But once it's in there, you can get started mixing, again on low speed. Get this all incorporated and scrape as needed again. It'll lighten up that pudding. It'll incorporate everything, and you'll have a nice creamy chocolate, and in this case chocolate strawberry mixture with a little added sugar. And this is the basis for your dirt or swamp sludge, whatever we were going to call this. This is usually called dirt or dirt pudding, but for the killer giant leeches, this is going to be swamp pudding. So once that's all done, scrape the sides down as needed. Use your whipped topping. This was thawed in the refrigerator for a few hours, so it's nice and loose. If it's frozen, this is going to be a really hard step to do, so you want to get this in the fridge for at least a couple of hours. But this is what's called folding. It's mixing, but you're not going to use the mixer. You're going to actually use the spoon, and I washed this off beforehand. Folding is kind of like cutting straight down through and then mixing around and around. It's gentle. You don't want to deflate that whipped topping. You would do the same thing with egg whites in a souffle or any dish really that has egg whites that make it fluffy. A chocolate mousse that uses whipped cream, which is essentially what dirt pudding is. It's like the quickie cheating version of chocolate mousse. You use instant pudding and whipped cream and kind of mix those together, and it's almost like chocolate mousse. It's like fake chocolate mousse, as long as you fold it together and don't break the whipped cream. If we just stirred this or used the mixer, we would break the cream and it would separate or deflate too much, and then it wouldn't be fluffy anymore. Once you're done, you'll get a lighter light brown like we had there, and then we'll go to the cookies. Get out your rolling pin or a hammer or punch it with your fists. Take out your frustrations on some cookies. And you're going to want the regular Oreos for this, or Hydrox, or whatever your brand of choice of chocolate sandwich cookie is. Or really, use Nutter Butters. I don't care. Whatever you prefer. But turn the bag over, smash them up, turn it over again, smash them up. Make sure they're good and crushed. But you don't want the double stuff. You don't need the rainbow filling. You want more chocolate cookie than filling. You want it to look like dirt. You want it to look like crumbs and just loose dirt, topsoil, whatever. So you want the cookie part more than the filling. In this case, usually I prefer the double stuff, because the filling's the good part. Everybody knows that. But these are fairly well crushed, so we'll get on to filling these cups. These are my little zombie ramekins for like souffles and things like that. But we're going to use them as pudding cups. Got several of them. I've also got a skull that's to hold like a cheese ball or a dip that I'm going to fill. You could put this in a bucket. One of the popular ways to serve dirt is just in one of those cheap beach buckets, the ones that you use to make a sandcastle. It comes with a little shovel. You fill it up, you layer your cookies and your pudding, and then layer cookies and pudding, and then you serve it with the shovel, and you put gummy worms on top. Sorry, I bumped the camera there a little. I'm not doing gummy worms because this is a leech movie and they don't sell gummy leeches. I know how to make gummy worms, but the succubus that I live with says if I give you her recipe, she'll send me to heaven, and I don't want to go up there with those people. They're boring. Who likes harp music? Really? Ugh. But the gummies that you can get, if you get a big enough one, I guess you could carve it into the shape of a leech. Right here I'm putting pretzel sticks in to kind of simulate like cattails or reeds sticking out of a swamp. Notice I didn't cover the top with cookies completely because I want some of the sludge to show through, because swamps aren't all grassy and dirty. They have a lot of water and stuff showing and mud. I want this to look more swampy. But normally with dirt you would just cover the entire top with cookie. But put a spoon in and enjoy. There you go, there's swamp pudding.